This is John Horne, track announcer for Vernon Downs for the Harness Racing Channel. I'm here today with one of the longtime horsemen, Adam Capizzano, who just a couple weeks ago was our driver trainer of the week. Only the second guy ever to win both the driver and trainer of the week in the same week, and he's done it twice now, so he's the only one that's done that. Adam, welcome. Congratulations. We're so happy to have you back here at Vernon Downs.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, John.
Want to talk a little bit about how you started into harness racing. I know it's quite a while ago. What got you into it? When did you know, hey, this is what I wanted to do?
Well, from a very young age, I was running around a barn with my father and my uncle, and I was kind of, like they say, raised in a barn. So I started grooming when I was 14 in Batavia, New York, and in 2003, working for Clint Galbraith.
Tell us a little bit about how family plays such an important role for you.
Family is just really important. You know, it's a very tough job, and you really need the family to back you and some support. I'm very, very fortunate. I have my father. He's my number one fan. He can tell you anything I've done that I've forgotten that I've done. Also, my fiance, Lisa Kennedy, she backs me 100%, and she owns a couple horses in the barn. It's her first time this year, and we teamed up together, and we do the barn work together, and it works out pretty good.
Now, you got a pretty good story about Gold Star Lambo because you actually owned Gold Star Lambo when he was young. Is that correct?
I did. The late Tom Audley and I were partners on several horses, and he gave me an opportunity to train this colt, Gold Star Lambo, as a 2-year-old. He sent him up from Florida as a 2-year-old. I raced him a couple times in the fairs. Gold Star Lambo was in a sire stake race here at Vernon, and John Campbell was available, so I jumped at that as quickly as I could to get him in the sulky for me. It was an amazing experience. John drove him, and he once just drove him perfect, and he win with him that day here in 151 and 4. So I couldn't have been happier with that. I was nervous. It was just a really cool experience. After that win here at Vernon, we actually got an offer on him, and we took the money. It was a pretty good price, a very fair price for him.
So how did you find out that he did? Have you been watching him all these years, see how he's doing, and how did you find out that he was available again?
He's 10 years old now, and he had dropped into an 8-claimer at Miami Valley in January. And I talked to Lisa, my fiance, and I said, you know what, I think I'm going to buy this horse back.
So tell us about the first time you got to see him since you bought him.
Well, he did race out there for about a month, and when I went to pick him up, he was at Sabra Farms in Ohio, so I drove all the way out there to get him. And as soon as I swung the barn door open, he was the first horse I saw, and he looked at me, and it was kind of, I was like, there's my man. And I walked up to him, and he had his ears up and wanted treats just like he always did when he was younger. So we had treats for him, and I loaded him up and brought him back to Vernon.
You didn't think you were ever going to get that horse back, did you?
No, never.
In your darkest dreams?
No, I never. I thought the last time when I dropped him off in Saratoga was probably going to be the last time I ever saw him.
That's just a great story. What do you think about the other drivers and your competition and everything? Do you feel like it's gotten better?
It's definitely gotten better. Vernon is a track where there were people saying there was no driver colony. The drivers here are just as good as anywhere else. I have respect for each and every one of them out there. Mm-hmm. It's a very competitive track. I think it's the greatest track in New York State.
How is it to race against those guys?
Oh, it's great. We're all a competitive group. we all treat each other right out there, and a lot of them are my friends also, and that's another thing about the colony here. We all basically get along, and it's just great to go out with those guys because they are so competitive, and I try my best with them.
One of the top horses this year was Attention Please, with 6 wins here at Vernon Downs alone, and is one off the top mark of the Pacers. She actually had to talk you into that. Is that right?
She did. He really panned out to be the best horse in the barn.
Those are the kind of times you like being wrong, right?
Yes. If I could be wrong like that on a daily basis, I'll be a happy man. I'm going to shut the horses down about mid-December, and I'm going to give them about 6 weeks off, bring them back 6 weeks, and then start racing in Saratoga in March, and then I'll have the horses tight for opening weekend of Vernon. Me personally, I don't say, oh, I'm going to have a great year. I know the ins and outs of this business, and horses can get hurt, they can get sick. I just go out and I try my best every week. I try my best on my horses in the barn. It's kind of a one-man show for me, and when I don't have Lisa with me. So you have to just put in the time and the work, and hopefully, everything works out for the year.
Well, we definitely wish you the best and can't wait. It's a bittersweet end to the season, but I think what's happened this year at Vernon Downs, we've got more new people come in. We've got some of the old people coming back. We're hoping to get better and better, and I think part of it was the great racing this year, and we thank you and all the guys that you raced against.
It's my pleasure to be here, and I can't wait to open back up in the spring again. I'd like to, number one, thank the fans for showing up and cheering us on out while we're out on the track. Without the fans, we don't have a track. So I also want to thank owners for sending the horses, my fiance Lisa for helping me and being there for me 100%. And I'd like to thank my father also. He is my biggest fan, like I said before, and it's a great feeling. He's my best friend, and it's a great feeling to have him support me and be there for me. And I'd also like to say thanks to all the other drivers. I respect each and every one of them, and I'm going to miss driving with them, and I hope they all come back in the spring because they're just a great group of guys out there.
This has been John Horne with Adam Capizzano here for the Harness Racing Channel.